Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So this is the lecture video for week 7. Okay, which is this is the new chapter for you. Okay, which is the chapter of correlation. Okay, what is correlation analysis? Okay, correlation analysis is a study of relationship between variables where a group of technique is used to measure the strength of the association between two variables. Okay, meaning that we have two variables. A change in one variable might cause another variable to change. Okay, satu variable change and then dia akan menyebabkan variable yang kedua akan change jugalah. Okay, for example, an increase in the price of sugar. Okay, the price of sugar increase, so it may cause the price of certain foods to increase. Okay, so harga gula naik, so mungkin harga barang makanan-makanan yang ada gula lah sebagai ingredient dia pun akan ikut naik jugalah. Okay, so that's the correlation analysis. Okay, and then we have here the correlation coefficient. Okay, the correlation coefficient we noted as R. Okay, is a number that indicates the strength and the type of linear relationship between that two variables. Okay, so in short, we can say that the correlation analysis is a statistical method that we use to measure the strength of the relationship between two variables. Okay. Okay, actually we can graph the relationship between two variables in the scatter diagram. Okay, this is we call scatter diagram or the scatter plot. Okay, so if our scatter plot falls on a straight line like this, so we assume that these two variables, this is the first variable and second variable. Okay, so we assume that these two variables have a perfect correlation. Okay, this is the straight line, and then the gradient or the slope is positive, so we can say that it is positive linear relationship. Meanwhile, in this scatter diagram, okay, we can see that this straight line is negative gradient or negative slope. Okay, kecerunan dia negatif ke bawah. So, kita panggil dia negative linear relationship. Okay, this scatter diagram or scatter plot has non-linear relationship. Okay, sebab dia bukan straight line. Okay, this non-linear relationship. And this is no correlation. Okay, so how do we calculate the correlation coefficient? The correlation coefficient, we denote it as rho. Okay, rho. This is the symbol for correlation coefficient for population, and R is the correlation coefficient for sample. Okay, rho and R. Okay, rho and R can range from -1 to +1. Okay, if the value close to 0, so it indicates the weak correlation. The negative value indicate an inverse relationship, and positive value indicate a direct relationship. So yang ni correlation coefficient, okay, if it is close to 0, okay, it means it has no correlation. So kalau positive, okay, here is weak, moderate and strong, and perfect positive correlation. Here kalau antara negative 0 until negative 0.5, it is weak, and then moderate, weak negative, moderate negative, strong negative, and Negative one is the perfect negative correlation. Okay, ni yang tadi saya terjemahkan. Ada perfect linear correlation, positive, okay. Strong or high linear correlation, okay. Fairly strong linear correlation, weak positive linear correlation. No, kalau if R equals 0, it has no correlation. Okay, as I mentioned before, the correlation analysis is a method to measure the strength of the relationship between two variables. So, between that two variables, okay, one variable we call as independent and another one is dependent. Okay, what is independent variable? Okay, the variable that provides the basis of estimation. Okay, it is the predictor variable. Okay, it is always denoted by X. Okay, X is the independent variable, while for dependent variable is the variable that is being predicted for estimation. Okay, it is always denoted by Y. Okay, for example, okay, we want to measure the association between income and expenditure antara gaji dan juga yang kita gunakan, okay, duit yang kita gunakan. So here we have two variables. The first one is income, gaji, and expenditure, duit yang kita gunakan untuk beli barang lah. Okay, so income is the independent variable while expenditure is the dependent variable. Why it is like that? Okay, because income will become independent variable because it is a variable that provide the basis for estimation. Maksudnya kalau gaji sikit, okay, expenditure pun akan jadi sikit lah. Kalau gaji banyak, expenditure akan jadi banyak. So maksudnya income ni yang akan menentukan expenditure, bukannya expenditure yang menentukan income, kan? Okay, sebab kita bergantung pada income. Kalau income sikit, kita beli barang lah, belilah barang sikit. Kalau income banyak, kita belilah barang banyak. So income akan jadi independent variable. Okay, dia yang menentukan expenditure. Okay, so expenditure is the dependent variable. Okay, there are three methods to determine the correlation between two variable. Okay, correlation nak cari row ni untuk correlation of population, or R. Okay, the correlation for sample. Okay, ni untuk population, untuk sample. So there are three methods to find row or R. Okay, the first method is using scatter plot. Okay, second, using Pearson's product moment correlation coefficient. Okay, third method is using Spearman's rank correlation coefficient. Tapi yang Spearman ni tak masuk dalam syllabus. You all hanya kena tahulah ini adalah method untuk cari correlation. Tapi kita tak belajar yang ni. Okay, kita hanya belajar macam nak buat scatter plot and Pearson moment product moment correlation coefficient. Okay, by using scatter diagram, this is the example of scatter diagram. Okay, the two-dimensional graph that plotted the individual values of data set. Okay, so scatter diagram kita ada two-dimensional, 2D. Okay, which we have x-axis and y-axis. Okay, so y-axis is the x-axis is the x coordinate for dependent variable. Independent variable, and y-axis is for y coordinate, which is for dependent variable. Okay, macam yang tadi kata dekat sini. Okay, x is the independent variable and y is the dependent variable. So independent variable is at x-axis and dependent variable is at y-axis. Okay, and then number 2, the scatter diagram forms certain pattern, okay, increasing or decreasing, indicating that there is a relationship between two variables. Okay, if the scatter diagram does not show any pattern or randomly scattered, we assume that the two variables does not have a relationship between them. Okay, this is the examples of scatter diagram. So kalau scatter diagram dia punya scatter tu bentuk macam ni, dot 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 dekat sini, so it is positive correlation. Okay, here is negative correlation and no correlation. Okay, for example, a survey of 10 households in Taman Permai Pura is conducted to collect the information on their incomes, okay, and education expenditure for the past month. The information obtained is given by the following table. Okay, this is the table. The first column is for income. Okay, ni kosong-kosong ada ratus So 1700 ni 1700, 2500, 4100 and so on. Okay, the second column is for education expenditure. Okay, yang duit yang digunakan untuk education lah. Okay, so question A, state the independent variable and dependent variable and then plot a scatter diagram, okay, for this information. So how are the solution for this question? So these are the solution. So the independent variable is X. Okay, X for income. And dependent variable Y is for education expenditure. Okay, yang ni you all kena decide yang betul-betul. Yang mana independent, dependent. Betul-betul. Kalau terbalik, so you all punya scatter diagram pun akan jadi terbalik lah. So, untuk ini kenapa income jadi independent? Kenapa expenditure jadi dependent? Macam yang saya terangkan tadi lah. Income, gaji yang menentukan kita punya penggunaan duit tu. Berapa banyak. Bukannya penggunaan duit tu yang menentukan income. Okay, so income is the independent. Okay, so how to plot the scatter diagram? So you look at here. Okay, income 17 17 maksudnya 1700 lah. Sekat sini ada tulis income 00. Okay, 17. So expenditure dia 500. So dekat sini pun expenditure dia 00. So expenditure is the dependent variable, so it must be in y-axis. Okay, and income is the independent variable, so it must be in x-axis. Jangan terbalik lah Okay, so kalau income 17, expenditure 5. So 17 is here. Okay, 17 between 10 and 20. So the expenditure will be 5. Okay, 5 kat sini 5. And then second one 25, 8. So 25 is here. So 8 dekat sini. 8, 25. Okay. And then 41, 8. 41, 8 dekat sini. Next 45, 10. 45, 10 is here. Okay, 45, 10. 35, 9. 35, 9 is here. 39, 9. 39, 9 is here. Okay. And then 10, 4. 10, 4 kat sini. 50, 11. 50, 11 is right here. And then 22, 6. 22, 6 is here. 43, 9. So 43, 9 is here. So kita boleh tengok dia punya scatter diagram bentuk macam ni. Okay. So it is important for you to decide the right X and Y. What is your independent variable and what is your dependent variable. Tak boleh salah lah, nanti you punya scatter diagram akan jadi salah. Okay. The second method to find the coefficient of correlation is using Pearson's product moment coefficient of correlation. Okay, nak guna Pearson ini formula dia. Yang ni bawah sekali, you all boleh guna yang bawah. R. Okay, R is the correlation coefficient equals total of xy minus total of x total of y. Okay, ni darab lah kiranya, divide by n. And then kat sini ada total of x square minus total of x and then square kat luar, divide by n. Ini untuk y. Okay, lepas tu square root kat bawah semua. Okay, lepas tu atas bahagi dengan bawah. So x is the dependent variable tadilah. Okay, y is the x is the independent variable, y is the dependent variable macam tadi Okay, we look at the same example like previous. Yang tadi ada income dengan education expenditure. Example yang sama. But this time we want to calculate the coefficient of correlation using Pearson moment product moment formula. Okay, this is the solution. Okay, using the formula as before yang tadi yang saya tunjuk. Okay, so we know that the income is our x, which is the independent variable, and this is our y, which is the dependent variable. So in this formula, we have to search for total of x, so meaning that we total up this column. Okay, the total of x is 327. Total of y, total up this column. Okay, equals 79. And then x square. X square total maksudnya setiap x ni kita square kan. 17 square, 25 square, square semua. And then total up. Okay, we'll get 12299. And then total of y square. Semua y ni kita square kan. And then tambah semua. Okay, it is equal 669. And then total of xy. Okay, xy maksudnya you need to multiply x and y. Okay, multiply first column, first row, multiply second row, third row until the last row, multiply and then total up. So we'll get 2838. And our n is 10. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Our n is 10. So just insert in the formula Pearson tadi tu so you get 0.9485. Okay, when R is 0.9485, okay, it means that it is a strong positive linear relationship between these two variables. Okay, in other words, the higher the income, the more expenditure is being allocated for education. Okay, kita tengok 0.94 tadi. 0.94 Okay, 0.94 tadi kat sini. Okay, dia adalah strong positive linear relationship. Okay, so kat sini strong positive linear relationship. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is the second example. Okay, this table below shows the number of leaflet, okay, and distributed, and the amount of sales of Sinar Company for the first 9 months in 2004. Okay, first question, state the independent variable and dependent variable, independent and dependent, and then calculate the Pearson product moment correlation coefficient for the number of leaflet and amount of sales. Okay, and then interpret the meaning of the value obtained. Okay, how are the solution? Okay, so this is the solution. So the independent variable is the number of leaflets and dependent variable is amount of sale. So number of leaflet ni, okay, sebab leaflet ataupun risalah ataupun brochure, okay, risalah tu kan yang menentukan amount of sale. So kalau contohnya kita bagi risalah dekat orang yang lalu lalang, makin ramailah orang tahu tentang tentang yang kita nak jual tu. So bila ramai orang yang tahu tentang apa yang kita nak jual, barulah bertambah sale. Okay, so maksudnya number of leaflet yang menentukan amount of sale. Okay, bukannya amount of sale yang menentukan number of leaflet. So number of leaflet is the independent variable. Okay, and then nak guna Pearson tadi, okay, kena buat tambah table lagi lah dekat sini tambah table. So this is the x, y, and then kena cari x square, xy and y square, and then total up. Okay, so dapat ni, just insert into the Pearson's formula. So we'll get 0.9365, which is the strong positive linear relationship. Okay, so interpret the meaning. Okay, interpret the meaning. So kita buat ayat macam ni. The higher the number of leaflet distributed, the higher the amount of sales of Sinar Company for the first 9 months in 2004. Okay, next slide. Okay, actually we can use calculator to obtain the Pearson's correlation coefficient and regression line, okay, by applying calculator lah. Okay, guna calculator untuk cari ni. Okay, x square, total of x square, total of x, total of x square, total of xy, total of y, total of y square, and n. Boleh guna calculator. Okay, so cara dia ini adalah calculator untuk fx 570. Untuk yang model lain, you all kena explore sendiri Mula-mula change mode. Okay, tekan mode 2 lepas tu 1. Ni saya tak tahu untuk L570 sebab kalkulator saya lain. Kalkulator saya pun guna cara lain. Okay, and then clear data. Okay, lepas tu key in data x dengan y, masukkan nilai x dengan y. Lepas tu tekan DT lah. Okay, and then check data yang you all key in, and then tekan sum, shift 1, 1, 2 equal. Okay, buat cara ni untuk cari ni semua. Okay, dan yang untuk nak cari correlation coefficient pun boleh guna calculator. So untuk calculator yang ni, cara yang ni saya pun tak boleh nak explore betul ke tak yang dia tulis ni untuk 570 lah katanya, sebab saya guna FX 991, dia lain sikit. Okay, you all boleh explore calculator masing-masing. Okay, okay, exercise ni question number 1 until number 8 rasanya saya nak bagi awak sebagai homework untuk dibincangkan dalam tutorial class. Okay, so question 1, question number 2, question number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, and lastly question number 8. So all these 8 questions you need to find the solution, and we will discuss the solution in our tutorial class. Okay, so thank you. If you have any question for me, feel free to PM me through Telegram. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.